Hello, everyone, and welcome to WSSEA 2024 fall season. We are into week number 5. We got an exciting best of 3 in Overwatch for you today. But first, my name is Hot Sauce, and I am joined with the legendary, the ever so smart and handsome Nyarko. How are we doing today, brother?
I'm doing quite well, especially after hearing those superlatives. I wish half of them were true, Hot Sauce, but we are about to dive into this matchup between Southridge and Ephrata, as you are talking about. This is going to be a pretty interesting one. Both of these teams really struggling to keep their late season hopes alive here. SHS currently standing at a 2-3 count, while Ephrata has a record of 1-3. So this is going to be a battle for the ages. We know when we see a lot of teams push to the brink, desperate for a win, they bring their best, and I'm sure that's what's going to happen today. But before we get to that action, Hot Sauce, as always, I think it's best that we start shouting out some of our sponsors here, starting, of course, with ZOTAC. These are the guys who have been powering so many of the streams that you see for WSSEA and beyond. They are an incredibly valuable resource here within the realm of high school, middle school, even collegiate esports. And thanks to their incredible support, we're able to bring this broadcast to all of you, helping to showcase the amazing talent in Scholastic Esports. So let's start our appreciation to ZOTAC Gaming and give them a big shout out on social media. Make sure to join their community on Discord, and don't forget to use the hashtag powered by ZOTAC or ZOTAC USA when you post.
Yeah, and we can't stop there. We certainly have to thank LANFest for building these healthy communities through gaming, with 23 different chapters across 18 states, and there's over 150 different events a year. We strongly encourage you to go to LANFest.com, check out those local chapters, Washington chapters, Inferno Land, Emerald City, and that way we can hopefully find an event near you.
Absolutely, and our final sponsor, as always, is Seattle Built PCs. I'm so happy to have the whale back here on the broadcast, and as always, Seattle Built PCs continues to support WSSEA. They are building custom PCs, and they are trusted by the pros time and time again. Since 2020, they've been crafting incredible rigs for world-famous esports players, content creators with millions of fans, and even the developers of your favorite games. Seattle Built wants to work with you to create the perfect PC for your needs, so whenever you're ready, look at the links, look at everything across the board on our socials. We are constantly shouting them out, and they're constantly supporting the community. You can check them out at seattlebuilt.com.
I love to hear it, but I'm ready to get into the action as well. I know we're going to be starting out on push. It looks like Ephrata has won that coin toss, so they're going to opt to head over to Coliseum. Push is kind of not one of my favorites necessarily, but it's an interesting twist in it, and we haven't seen a lot of push this season, so I'm excited for maybe once to get out here and see some push.
But whenever we do see push, it is typically on Coliseum, it feels like, Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
And so we are going to be jamming that here right at the very start of this series. I think that push, even though, it could be a little bit messy here and there, the fact of the matter is it tests coordination as the 5-stack, and I think that is incredibly valuable. Now, Coliseum is a map where you have those very interesting choke points when you're fighting on bridges and things like that, and therefore, rollouts are going to be really important, as is controlling the pace of the game, making sure that you aren't chaining in one after the other. If you could pass that initial knowledge check, I think that both teams are going to be able to show out here in what is probably going to be a real chaotic showing for the beginning of the series.
Yeah, I mean, this initial first sightline where the bot is as well, just a super long sightline. So again, obviously you want to get there as quickly as possible, but for me, I'm kind of interested to see if we see some of those traditional comps, or if we're working with those Lucios, those Junos to kind of, like you mentioned, roll out, just get there as quickly as possible. We've seen a lot of Orisa here recently as well, at least in this league specifically. So again, I'm always interested to see, are we looking for some of the meta picks? Are we looking for more of that comfortability pick?
It really does feel like if one team goes comfort, the other team is going to go comfort and say, we're going to meet you on your level. Same thing in regards to the meta. In many cases, people are just purely mirroring comps on either side. Here, though, we are going to see some of those, I'm not going to say allowances, but we are going to see some of those shifts towards things that people are favoring as individual players rather than following what is super strong. That's why Phantom is currently locking in on that Mercy. I really hope that they do not go Mercy Lucio. That may be a step too far in favor of comfort.
Hey, we've seen some crazy reses coming out for Mercy, but it is an interesting choice nonetheless. Baptista certainly very strong now as well with that adjustment to the recoil. I love Brigitte with Reinhardt as well. Kind of just both of those shields up in your face. If you're able to kind of work that in your face Brawly style, it could work out into your benefit. It does look like there's a little more speed on the Ephrata side, but both of these teams are about to clash around the Bosch, or the push bot, excuse me.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. It is kind of the boss of the game, really dictates where people have to fight, where they want to push anyway. I will say right now, I am just broadly favoring what I'm seeing out of the blue squad, which I do believe is Southridge, if I'm not mistaken here. What I'm worried about for Ephrata is just they do not have a lot of healing. Nullfall is going to need protection, and I don't know where you're getting it from. Luckily, Defamed Done is going to be a little bit more self-sufficient here, but this Orisa is going to take a lot of them, especially the Mercy's resources here, so we're going to see how exactly this plays out. Right now, we've just got a little bit of a scrap. Both sides doing a good job keeping everybody topped off, so no real big picks have come through just yet. Lisa and Naomi going pretty far forward here at very low health, is trying to take cover behind this wall, but what is really notable here is that this is a comp where either the Reaper or Lucio can follow you, so standing in the sideline for a long period of time can spell disaster, as we are going to get Reinhardt going for a big swing up against the Famed One. Notably in this situation, Sir Acer is doing a good job answering back the damage that the Reaper brings, but this is a risky position to be in for both of these players. Right now, Defamed One is going to get the worst end of that situation, has ult up, but is going to be dead for the time being. Slinky Swing also dying, means finally we're getting forward progress in favor of Southridge.
Yeah, unfortunately, without that tank, it's in your best interest to fall back and hope that you don't have a staggering out issue here. But we see the window from Baptiste, the tactical visor here from J2 Sweaty. So Southridge has a couple ults on deck ready to flex. A few more getting very, very close. There is a couple ults on the other side, and the Death Blossom blooming into a triple, making a quadra. Nullfall will find one as well. And after a little bit of a struggle here, Ephrata coming back and answering nicely.
Yeah, Ephrata did a really good job building up off of a single ultimate. Actually, two. Nullfall is going to buy a little bit of space there with Bob, and by kind of mind controlling Southridge into a retreating position, they were all bunched up, and that is the perfect opportunity to pull out the Reaper ultimate. Now, we do have the 5-stack ult charges for the side of Southridge, but Ephrata may have done enough to completely turn the tide. Window going to come down early in this one, as we are going to see it comboed with J2 Sweaty, pulling out the tactical visor and just completely nailing two members of Ephrata. That should be enough for the red squad side to fall back and look for a new angle.
Yeah, I thought maybe that window was in a slightly bad position because they had so many pillars to kind of hide behind, but stepping out into that open zone, the tactical visor making it a little bit easier and doing a good job of staggering out those ults as well. Southridge still has 3 ults here that they're able to use. Of course, there's one on the side of Ephrata, but again, it's Southridge making all this ground, and as I say it, Nullfall with 2 big ones. The Famed One will get one as well, and just like that, Ephrata battling back, not willing to go silently into the night.
Good little death ball there from Ephrata, trying to bring this one back. Will have the ability to get another push under their belt, but this is quite a bit of distance that has been built up here on the side of Southridge, so this run back could take a little bit too long. We are going to see the return of the blue squad to the scene in time to actually contest this, and notably, they still have that rally available for Pillow. I kind of thought that the Brigitte should have popped that during the last fight, Hot Sauce, but it looks like they're trying to play patiently here, and if they can get a solid set of kills and really put Ephrata off their tempo, the sets of ults that are coming back up for their side are going to be a lot less valuable. This Sigma attempting to forge forward here, but that is 2 dead by the hand of Lisa and Yomi, using that Deadeye to great effect, and now the Sigma is isolated all alone, and this is exactly what I was talking about as the strategy for SHS, as they are going to get control of the bot once again, and they maintain control of the lead.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as Ephrata begins to get a little bit of ground, Southridge finds a way to stop him. And now with Sir Racer picking off Nullfall as well, Bob is going to have to wait a little bit longer to be unleashed. So again, at the risk of staggering out, they need to be careful. J2 Sweaty is going to put him on ice. He's ice cold with a nasty shot there.
And here comes the follow-through. Slinky Swing just going to drop multiple people to the ground. Pillow is going to be dead off of that one. A Sir Acer is soon to follow. Does not have enough health to get out of that sticky situation. And I don't think this Cassidy is long for this world either. A full-on team wipe coming down a moment too soon, and Ephrata is in a great position.
Yeah, great position once again. It kind of shows you how evenly these two teams are matched, right? We see them battling back and forth, but it has been Southridge that's just been able to get a little bit extra distance with each one of these engagements.
Yeah, right now it just feels like Southridge may be able to preserve this relative lead. I'm certainly in belief that we are going to see Ephrata push once again and get more distance, but it feels like in the swing back and forth, what has so far been decided is just a tempo advantage in favor of SHS, stemming all the way back from that initial play that we saw out of them, and that is going to once again lead to a fight in advantage as Nullfall and Slinky Swing die early in this one, and I really think we're beginning to see that choke come through due to a lack of burst healing from the composition coming out of the red team.
Yeah, we'll see if Ephrata can bring this one back. They do have that ult from Reaper here as well. They had a lot of success leading to a quadra and eventually a team kill. Here it comes, and will it bloom into something significant this time? Unfortunately, only able to get one. Pillow, quick to get the trade back. Lisa's going to find one here on the Mercy as well. With a support down, it could spell trouble. Reinhardt in the front line, just eating up the damage, and Pillow with the mace to the face, taking it all the way, baby. Southridge is looking to continue this push further.
And that is what you would call a game-winning fight. Resources being burnt by the side of Ephrata for nothing, and because of this win in tempo, we still have those two stacked ultimates out of the DPSs on the side of SHS who are looking for even more. Now on the final stretch, they have a really good composition to fire down this long sight line as long as they can push back against some of these flankers. The famed one, once again, a little bit obvious on the overextension there. That's also what cost them that ultimate earlier on in this engagement. This means that now we're seeing double the yardage coming out of SHS, and that might turn into more. Blizzard being dropped here. Monkey Dude once again dead early in this. Phantom taking to the skies, trying to do their best to keep the Reaper topped up, and for the time being, it looks like they will be successful, but Valkyrie has been used in this endeavor, and now there's just a few meters left between SHS and a win on the board.
Oh, but Ephrata coming out with big old Bob, baby. A nice triple, making a quadra as the famed one, and Slinky will get in on the action too. So with their backs against the wall, Ephrata will stand tall and look to make a push back. 250 on the clock, not a ton of time, but certainly enough time if they're able to win a couple fights in a row.
And in particular, what we're seeing out of the side of Ephrata is a slight edge on resources, where they are going to get Slinky Swing up to a significant ultimate. Sir Racer, of course, can make something happen with their hammer, but it is usually a lot tougher, especially in a game like this when you're up against flankers, for there to be a lot done out of this. We are going to see Slinky Swing trying to initiate actually early on with their ultimate, getting multiple people low, and now it's a question of can Nullfall and Defamed One capitalize. So far, it looks like Ottermelon's doing a good job keeping everybody up. Now Pillow has Rally available. Sir Racer just gonna get in there, barely any health available, trying to stay alive as Lisa and Yomi will fire down with their Deadeye through this choke point, looking for even more along the far side. Monkey Dude and Defamed One now dead. Phantom trying to keep the whole team topped off, may not have the opportunity with which to do so, but Sir Racer and Pillow have fallen on the side of SHS, and this is the best shot that Ephrata have gotten in a while now as they continue to work forward. It looks like the bot is currently under control of the blue team, but that could quickly change as the Famed One is going to look for more shots upon the Cassidy once again. If he can take this DPS down, that's going to massively stagger SHS, and he will be able to find the killing blow.
Now we see Sir Racer already back, but the damage has been done. Null, the Famed One, both finding some picks here as they continue to put damage toward that shield and look to break it down. Sir Racer standing tall at the moment, but again, at risk of staggering out. Ottermelon has the window here as well. Of course, the Valkyrie for Mercy as they continue this push forward, and this is probably the best consistent run that we've seen here out of Ephrata just yet.
Absolutely. Not dropping on the fight as soon as Blue Squad tries to bring it back towards them means that we are getting a really solid shove on their side. Unfortunately, Monkey Dude gets picked off. Decided to swap over to the Juno, but due to an overextension, they're going to be killed. Phantom is going to follow, and this is just clean up through Central for Southridge High School, who are going to dispatch their enemy with brutal efficiency. This could be enough for the death push, and finally a win locked in on the push map.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Ephrata will get one more opportunity to find the fight, but if they win that battle, they're most likely going to have to win at least two more to continue to push further, and they're going to have to do that in overtime as well. That's going to be no easy task against this Southridge squad, who also has 3 ultimates on deck.
That being said, Lisa Naomi is going to waste his, bring it down to 2. Really unfortunate situation that Cassidy's trying to raw Deadeye is going to be taken down for their efforts, but a big ping is going to swing things right back in favor of SHS as Monkey Dude is caught out. Slinky Swing is dead, and that means that with no real tank presence available, this is going to be a tough one. Phantom will be able to get the lucky res off, but while that's happening, Defamed One is going to crumble inside of this hallway. Now, on the other side, J2 Sweaty and Ottermelon have fallen, and in fact, with this ultimate coming out from Slinky Swing, this could be enough to turn the fight right in favor of Ephrata. Even as they burn that resource, it is going to be enough for them to have control of the bot and actually move into that overtime.
Got that overtime fuse lit. All that Southridge needs to do, though, is really just regroup here, find a fight. The Blizzard will come in, but how much value is Defamed has already done a ton of damage. May will fall as well, and Southridge needs to take a deep breath and reset. It's their game to win, but right now they're continuously staggering out into this Ephrata team.
Checkpoint reached. This is still a difficult mountain to climb, but they are encroaching upon the count for the side of Southridge. And notably, this is a place where as long as someone doesn't get real deep in there and stop your advance, you can get a lot of yardage very quickly, but that is a little bit of a disaster to start things off. Sir Racer with an incredibly belligerent shove is going to be able to pick off 1, now make it 2, and this is a disaster. Ephrata is so close for the comeback, trying to make something happen with the emergency res, but it's not enough, and Southridge will be able to claim the first point here in this match.
Yeah, able to get in that first one, but honestly, it was a nail biter back and forth, and Ephrata did a phenomenal job at trying to make that return, and they won a couple nice battles in a row, but at the end of the day, it was Southridge who was able to stand tall. We'll take a look at the play of the game here, and Nullfall up top, just raining down the hailstorm of bullets, able to find 2, looking for more, jumping, chasing. Cassidy will collect that kill as well, and a solid play of the game there for Null. Unfortunately, the team not able to grab the dub.
But the fact that we are seeing that split of play of the game and win shows the extent to which both of these teams are evenly matched. And I think that Ephrata have plenty more firepower to bear upon SHS in future games. So I'm hoping we finally go the distance, Hot Sauce. I think in all of our time together so far, we have casted very much 2-0s time and time again. Heck, we had a 2-0 where it was a literal 4v5, and that is not a way to be rude to a team and saying that someone was not pulling their weight. That is a literal 4v5 that had to be broadcast due to some scheduling errors.
Yeah, you know, hats off to the team for sticking it out. A lot of people would forfeit, though, so shout out to those 4 sticking strong. But, you know, yeah, I would love to go all the way because at the end of the day, there's a clash waiting there for us, which we haven't got to see a lot of. But, you know, up and before that, 2 of my favorites, Hybrid, Escort. So because Ephrata did lose that one, they will get the choice to pick this hybrid map. So I think that'll be the interesting point. I know that we see a lot of Kings Row in this situation, and you know, Kings Row's great or whatever, but I wouldn't mind seeing maybe something a little different.
Yeah, but what else is there? I'm looking and thinking about the characters that we saw coming out for the side of Ephrata, right? And for me, I don't think that we're getting Nubani. It's too many long sight lines. Lucio isn't super effective on that map if that's something that they want to continue to play towards. For me, I also think that Kings Row is premier Overwatch. So, you know what? I'm putting my weight behind it. I'm sorry, Hot Sauce. We are going to diverge on this point. I really do hope that we're going to be taking it to London and seeing what that has to offer. I don't know. What map do you want then,
I
man?
hate to break it to you, baby, but we are going to Paraiso. And that is where we're headed. So, again, you know, maybe a map that Ephrata is a little more comfortable on. And again, because everybody's so good at Kings Row, it could just be that little twist, that little extra effort that they need to be able to topple Southridge here and maybe extend the longevity of this series into a map number 3.
What I do really like about Paraiso in comparison to what we see out of something like Kings Row is that Paraiso, I think, is a lot more balanced in terms of where you see holds being had. You can hold first point, you can hold second point, you can hold third point, while in the case of Kings Row, it kind of feels like if you manage to get to the payload, you're taking it all the way home and getting all 3 points. So we're going to see exactly how hard each team is able to match up against one another here. We are going to be getting the same designations on side, so that is going to be Sir Racer leading the charge for Southridge High School and Company on blue, while the red team is Ephrata once again.
You know, and one thing that's always interesting to me on this map specifically is how many teams opt to hold that first bridge that you see there, and how many teams kind of stay back and play a little bit closer to the point there on that second little choke point. Some prefer that because it is a little bit longer walk back, so when you win those battles, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I personally like standing on that bridge just a little bit better.
I would agree with that. I think it depends on your characters for sure. We have a very interesting lineup coming out of Southridge so far, with your damage dealers being a Pharah and a Widowmaker. I think that bridge holding may be the call.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, you have the pharmacy there as well, the prescription for success, and of course Widow up top, able to rain down. There is a little longer sight lines, and even if they make it past that first, you know, they're able to unlock the payload, there's still another long sight line just behind it as well. So Widow's something that certainly could work here, especially off the back of a Sigma. I am a fan of Sigma, so I like to see this little Sigma mirror match going on here as well.
Yeah, this is not typically something that you get at this level of play out of the attacker's side. The Slinky Swing clearly is a specialist on this character. He had some immensely solid ults coming out in that first matchup, even if Ephrata wasn't able to win on Colosseo. That being said, it is also really good for Seracer to be on this character, as you could really just deadlock his choke point super easily. We're seeing an attempt at a flank coming through from Defamed one, but there's just not really that many points of access. He's going to try to teleport up top here, but notably Nullfall is just getting out of death here, so he may be slightly premature in his approach and will be found out by the Pharah.
Yeah, it's tough to be in a tiny hallway when Pharah is pestering you with rockets from above and continues to chase him down. Almost gets Phantom, but able to stay up not for long. Defamed will find Pillow on the other side of things. J2 Sweaty with a snipes to the head and will find one, but a bit of back and forth, both losing a member. However, it looks like Southridge lost that support. So again, they have to be a little bit more careful here.
J2 Sweaty is going to be picked off. The Famed one with really good plays off of tempo that is provided by Phantom. Getting those reses off means that while this is still ultimately a trade, it is Southridge having to leave their vantage point, and notably they are down more members. Right now, Ottermelon is doing his best to keep the Sigma topped off, but this is a difficult call for the Mercy Baptiste combo to have. That is going to be Immortality Lantern used a little bit earlier than I think that they wanted to see it come out, and now it's actually going to be Nullfall with the vantage point. Now, maybe even looking for a flank anchor.
Looking for that flank. We saw the play of the game previously, looking to pick on the support a little bit, but J2 Sweaty was ready and will find the first pick. Seracer Fisticuff picks off one. Lisa gets involved here as well, and it's great to see everybody here in Southridge getting a piece of the action. The stun comes out. Slinky trying to get back to safety, but as we know, Sigma just doesn't have a ton of mobility. We'll be caught off guard here, and with that, they'll have to reset and look to make another push.
This is perfect for Southridge High School. It allows for them to reassert their positional advantage by moving back towards the bridge. And Nullfall was completely straggling out there. Now go to stagger the entirety of Ephrata. The clock is ticking down. And if J2 Sweaty is allowed to stand up on this bridge, we could have a disaster brewing. This is a deep push now coming through from Defamed one, trying to pick up the slack. He approaches forward, has the Death Blossom available, will be picked off though. And once again, Ephrata for the past 30 seconds or so have not had a complete team standing up.
J2 Sweaty is definitely going to need a shower after this one. Those shots were dirty, continuously finding nice crosshair placement, following through, and Lisa continues to pick off the back line. The barrage will come in at near death, able to survive. J2 Sweaty with a health click in the dome of the tank, and with that, Southridge, a much stronger display here on Paradiso.
And that's not what you want to see. Hard line improvement on all fronts from the team that already eked out a win on map number 1. We're going to see whether or not Ephrata will be able to match that level of improvement, but right now it feels like even with all their ultimates available, they are just bogarted into these tight choke points, unable to do anything as they stagger in one after the other. That's going to be Death Blossom using. J2 Sweaty is trying to get on out of there. Will be able to do so. Ottermelon not so lucky, but still this is going to buy crucial time by which SHS can continue to match up in the 4v4. Nullfall incredibly low, and another headshot! J2 Sweaty is reigning supreme!
You know, I am a huge fan of snipers in any game. J2 Sweaty has won me over heart and soul as a fan. Absolutely nutty, but at the end of the day, the switch to Ramatra has been helping a bit. They've made their way onto the point. There is some contention coming in at the moment, looking for that first tick. Pharah up top here, peppering in. We have the window here as well, but again, needs to make sure the team is close by. The lamp will come out, and the snipes will rain down, but Defamed on El Bastion, putting in work yet again, and Ephrata is looking very dangerous here late.
That being said, this Transcendence is huge for the side of Ephrata. Working forward here. Unfortunately, the response may be enough. Seracer trying to get everybody off the point, and down goes the double support. That is rough. Ephrata need to hold it here and now, or they will have to be stuck on 0 points for the second half. Bastion doing what they can to try to break the bubble. They will not be able to do so. That's enough. Somehow the payload comes out here. Looks like SHS just walked backwards.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they had so many members there that they just thought that somebody was slightly touching as they were in that battle, but I'm not going to complain. I love any more Overwatch that I can get. So Ephrata able to put 2 minutes, 5 seconds back up on the clock. But again, we talk about these long sight lines. Here's another little spot where Widow has an opportunity to shine, but it does look like maybe we already had that switch coming over to Reaper here.
Still, the dam has broken. This could be enough for Ephrata to find their footing. Almost an undeserved first point, but they are clearly shown they are not ones to be trifled with. Great shots on perfect vantage points from the Bastion. Sigma doesn't even know what's hitting him as he is going to be mowed down in kind. And now to Southridge, staggered, trying to find the most of the situation. Peeking around the corner, there's the damage boosted Bastion, ready to melt every single member of Southridge.
Yeah, as a former Bastion main, I am happy to the bone here to see Defamed out here popping off. And we saw Sigma kind of looking around. Where are these shots coming from? But if you don't see somebody, it's a good idea to look up. And now maybe a little bit of retaliation and revenge as the rock comes in. And Farah will be able to collect on Defamed one. Slinky dangerously low, trying to mitigate some of this damage here as Mercy being that pocket healer, keeping him standing tall. But Seracer will switch targets, collect on the support. And with that, the janitors will come in because they are cleaning up.
And that was showing really good game sense on the side of Seracer and the rest of SHS. In many cases, when you see a tank moving slowly right in your sight line, you're thinking shoot the big thing, take the big thing down. But no, the correct answer there was to divide and conquer. They did a great job forcing away Ephrata. And I'm not exactly sure what this Bastion ultimate is for. Nobody distracting means that everybody's able to just move away, and now that is a resource gone from the side of Ephrata, who only have 33 seconds to make their way back onto the point. Deep push here started by Ottermelon and company from the side of SHS. J2 Sweaty, though, going to be picked up, has swapped over to the Reaper, but here comes the return fire. 4 gone, no fall is going to follow, and another wipe with only 18 seconds on the clock means that this could be the end of the road. I think SHS have held them to a single point.
Yeah, Lisa got 4 picks on that play there as well. And with only 8 seconds, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get back in time. We can see Southridge trying to eat up some of this early space and prevent them to getting back to the payload and lighting the overtime fuse. The contention is there. The fuse is lit, and Ephrata will have one more opportunity, but the Plaid Stripes are in the kill feed and slightly favored of Southridge at the moment. The Brigitte slap in the face with the mace here, and again has the rally up. All these kills coming in. The streak is there on the screen. The fuse will dwindle away, and Southridge will take it.
Good stuff coming out of Southridge. This is a very doable push, but at the end of the day, Hot Sauce, we could exactly see the tables turn, and frankly, given that Ephrata got lucky picking up that first point, and Southridge clearly is having some communication issues on making sure that people are maintaining presence there, this could be the angle by which Ephrata, if they can hold Southridge back for the majority of this round, could bring themselves to victory just by having a slightly better defense of this rectangle.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't maybe quite push it far enough, and I feel like they could have gotten a little bit further if they had held on to that Bastion ult for just a little bit longer, allowing someone to kind of get up there or even zone away from that payload. So unfortunately not getting a lot of value from that. 113 meters though is still pretty far, so you're absolutely right. I think they can stop them, but they're going to need an incredibly first initial hold here, much like Southridge did.
Well, they may be denied that opportunity. Look at the composition coming out of Southridge. This is so high velocity. Of course, you have the Lucio and the Juno, but you're basically playing jokes here as you're going to have Lee San-Yomi on an incredibly self-sufficient character in the form of the Genji. J2 Sweaty is able to play either as a flanker or as your main frontliner as this Soldier 76, and this Junker Queen is just sitting on top of it all, able to just completely bust down all defenses constructed by Ephrata. We're going to see whether or not the response in this composition is going to be enough. Slinky Swing was getting some solid success on the Ramatra near the end of that first round, and I'm happy to see a return here.
Yeah, I love Ramatra, and the Annihilation does just that. So we'll see who can kind of work toward that ult economy here early as both teams continue to trade. And Nullfall with a big early pick here on the J2 Sweaty. Maybe the switch to Junkrat could be huge for them.
Yeah, when you're in a position like this where you have a clear vantage point, but sometimes it's hard to get perfect sightlines, sometimes just raw firing every single grenade at your disposal out is the correct call, and Nullfall is proving that to be the case. That being said, Seracer is doing a good job continuing to push forward. That Junkrat trap could spell their doom, but Speed Boost is going to buy them a little bit of space. Still not enough, though, as Slinky Swing will land the killing blow. Defamed One and Monkey Dude are both dead, though, on the other side, and with 3 minutes on the clock, if we can see the rest of SHS convert this into a push on the point, this could be enough to put things away with a massive bonus in their favor, as Slinky Swing is going to fall to the might of J2 Sweaty. That is, in fact, going to be the first point claimed.
Yeah, you know, and I gotta say, I really like Southridge's ability to find the same, their target acquisition, basically. They find the same target, often finding those supports first as well, and it's just tough to stand up when you don't have those heals in the back line. So Southridge doing a great job of kind of pickpocketing and finding these squishies early and allowing them to have that player advantage.
So much time by which to just get over that last few meters necessary to take this series 2-0. Ephrata need to dig their heels in, and I like the fact that they're staying with a relatively similar composition. That being said, the one thing I'm not a fan of is this Mercy and Lifeweaver together. Two main healers, and Monkey Dude dying off the edge certainly isn't going to help things. Great stuff from Ottermelon to get that boop set up, and now he's able to dive the backline. Defamed One is dead. Nullfall is as well. Slinky Swing has nobody to really guide and hold them stable for the time being. And as they are caught in this trap, Defamed One is going to try to get a fadeaway ultimate to at least buy space for the team. But look what the response is going to be. Riptire fired off here. If they can get a pick, this is going to be massive for staggering the enemy team. Trying to get down onto the back line. Will be able to find Seracer.
Hey, if you're going to get a pick, it's nice to get the tank out of the way. Again, that really just means Southridge has to wait for the tank to respawn here. Luckily for them, the spawn's not too far away, right? They still have 4 minutes and 10 seconds as well, so they have plenty of time to regroup, take a deep breath, reset, and talk about how they want to attack the situation in front of them.
I think the answer is you just run in at as many people as possible. You got 4 ultimates available. That being said, this is a difficult place to be. Flanking Bastion, they're actually going to take 2 members out already, and that means the Tactical Visor's not doing a whole lot. Slinky Swing trying to stabilize down for Ephrata, firing off the Annihilation, and while Lisa and Naomi is trying their best on the point, they are just getting drained for the time being. It looks like for the right now, Ephrata have been able to reassert themselves, and they are continuing to force the blue team back off. Seracer is dead again, and I feel that for as much as was being used there, Southridge got nothing.
Yeah, you know, and all those ults that were expended there as well, really no value from them as well. So Ephrata right now able to hang tough for the time being, but Ottermelon with another boop here to Slinky, and this time without the tank, it could spell trouble. Sweaty's going to collect on Null, as we can see them continuing the pressure for this Genji as well, just being a nuisance, getting in that back line, creating the disruption, and with that, they should have a little bit easier push towards this this final destination.
SHS needs to remember to keep somebody on point at all times. It seems like they've corrected that, and this is a big push. Ephrata got 1 more defense left in them, but already see how much space Seracer is buying for their team. They need to just run on top of this now. Not enough time to get out of the base with the boot from the Lucio. That's going to be it. Southridge take the series 2-0.
Taking it 2-0. They go to 3-3 on the season, so able to squeeze some wins here toward the end of their season as we get a little closer to that postseason. You know, I was wondering if Lisa was going to take the play of the game away from J2 Sweaty with this 4K here.
They deserve it for sure. I actually thought this may have been for their earlier play when they were camping that spawn beautifully and able to get out in the nick of time, but we are going to see what the Pharah can do in those open spaces on the second point as well, tearing the enemy team asunder. Congratulations to Southridge, who have been constant demonstrators of the old adage of teamwork making the dream work here in WSSEA.
Yeah, it's always a good time here at WSSEA, and unfortunately, we've only got the 1 game here today, but we hope that you'll follow the channel as well, because there's always exciting action. I believe they got Street Fighter tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific as well, and of course, we're getting a little bit closer to the end of the season. Ephrata is going to fall to 1-4, but again, we saw moments of greatness from Ephrata, right? Unfortunately, they just couldn't kind of consistently keep that in motion. They had some really good stops and stuff, but again, Southridge was just that kind of more aggressive, in-your-face team.
Absolutely. Really looking forward to eventually casting an Ephrata win, because they showed today that they deserve a much better record than their current standings as they move down to 1-4. They could be top contenders here with just a few adjustments, and I believe that those are coming soon. My one advice to them in terms of what we saw out of this game, Hot Sauce, is work on that support comp. The Mercy, I feel, is doing a lot to kind of bogart in the things that you could play in that role. Stuff like Lucio Mercy just isn't doing enough burst healing to support what is otherwise a really stellar front line and stellar continuum of players throughout the game. So that is going to be it for us today, though. This was a fantastic showing from both of these teams, and I cannot wait to see more of either of them.
Yeah, short but sweet. And, you know, it wouldn't be complete, though, if we didn't take a moment again to thank ZOTAC, LANFest, Seattle-built PCs. Of course, everybody behind the scenes as well, from Ben and Taylor to help running the stream so smoothly. And, of course, you know, it wouldn't be complete unless we thank Nyarko as well. So that has been Nyarko. I am Hot Sauce. Thank you all for hanging out, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific for some Street Fighter action. Take care and have a wonderful evening.